Alright, y'all, so let's break it down like this now. We've all seen the very, very masterful episode that is episode 9 of the final season of Power Book 2 Ghost. We all seen it. We seen what happened to Monet. I will be touching on that in another video that you guys will see today. But like I said, we've seen it all. Now, before we go into how Tariq can possibly beat Carter and Noma without Ghost's help, we have to remind ourselves the position that Tariq ended up in by the end of the episode. Now, by the end of the episode, Tariq and Monet, they had found out that Carter and Noma had joined forces on some the enemy of my enemy is my friend type of shit. They joined forces, they connected like Voltron. They set up the hit for Vadim and the Russians to kill Tariq and Monet in the middle of Staten Island, right? They set up that hit. The hit didn't work. Tariq decided to run down on Detective Carter in the church. He ends up trying to kidnap Carter. It ends up failing. Why? Because Tariq has done nothing but fail this entire season. This entire season, he's done nothing but fail, and he's been a below mid-level drug dealer the entire season. Let's keep it real. Brody been messing up. He just finds out that he was caught on camera with Braden killing Zion. It's going down. Now, Carter arrests him. Braden saves his life once again. Even though he was high on drugs, he does it once again. Saves Braden's life. Now, by the end of the episode, they really do have Carter tied up and kidnapped. Carter is very confident that things will still go his way. And then by the end of the episode, you have Carter tied up and bound. You got Tariq and Carter waking up from a concussion. They both probably have CTE. And you also have a dead Monet. This is somebody who has some kind of brains. This is somebody who was strategic in a way. This is somebody who definitely let her gun blow. This is a major blow, major death blow to the Tejadas and Tariq as a whole. Like, it is bad. So we talking about going into the final episode of the season and of the series. We got to understand that the morale is very low. You got the Tejada kids. They lost their father, what would have been months ago, right, in the Power timeline. And they lost their daddy. I mean, they lost their daddy, and then they lost their mommy, right? So they're going to be in the middle of, we're going to see Drew trying to blame Kane for the death of Monet. Kane's going to be like, well, y'all didn't tell me what was going on, right? So they're going to be dealing with that in the midst of trying to figure out how to deal with Carter and Noma. And from what it looks like is Tariq will primarily have to focus on Carter if Carter is not going to be tied up and bound the entire episode, right? Because there could be a twist with that. And I want to discuss how can Tariq beat Carter and Noma without Ghost's help. Now, in the middle of episode 9, we seen Tariq get mad and say, I killed my own father. I need an army. Well, guess what, Tariq? You ain't got no army, nigga. At least not yet. So, the first way he can beat Carter and Noma without Ghost's help has to get dirt on Carter. His best asset for that, the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend, Pinky. Pinky has to come into play. Pinky has to do some kind of serious espionage type of thing, pipe bomb thing. She has to come into play. She's been proven to be resourceful every single time, right? Just like in videos that I said previously, Pinky was Tariq's #1 asset. Tariq needs Pinky again, and hopefully he got the bread to pay Pinky, all right? Because Pinky is about that shmoney too, right? He's going to need Pinky to try to get some kind of dirt on Carter. They have to find dirt that he killed Kamal Tate and maybe get it to Rashad Tate. They have to find some kind of dirt that connects him to some kind of crime. Maybe they could get Nico to flip or something like that. Also, Tariq has to find out if Carter has any family that he cares about that he can get his hands on and possibly kidnap as well. This is something that has to be done. You gotta understand, Carter had a wife. People with wives usually have children. Does Carter have a child somewhere? Or does he have a mom? Does he have a brother? If coincidentally his brother is not a ghost or something like that, I would assume that it's not ghost, right? Putting it into all those theories. But he has to find some kind of dirt that connects him to something that he does not want to be connected to, something that could give them some kind of leverage. And then probably still, you have to end up killing Carter by the end of the episode anyway, because as long as he's alive, he's a threat. The next way Tariq can beat Carter and Noma without Ghost's help: have to erase the Zion murder evidence. It has to go. And here's the tricky thing. Even though Carter told Tariq that he has the footage, he has to know or find out whether Carter has made more copies or not. And if so, it has to be erased. The thing about me when it comes to this Zion footage and evidence is this. First of all of this took place illegally. All of this took place illegally, right? Carter sanctioned the murder. He sanctioned the murder to be done by his subordinate. His subordinate sends Diana. Diana sends Tariq and Braden. Braden and Tariq kill Zion. All of this happened illegally. So what I've been thinking from the moment that footage got caught up was, how permissible would this exactly be in law? In the court of law. How permissible in court would this be? Now, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. The last time I read anything law was in law library when I was in Rikers Island, right? Over 10 years ago. But it doesn't seem like this would be that permissible in court, depending on what's going on. But that's something else that definitely has to be done. Now, when you wrote Noma into this, the next thing that Tariq would have to do in order to beat Carter and Noma without Ghost's help is finally turn Anya against Noma. Okay? This has to be done, and this will be done. When you look at the preview scene for episode 10, Anya is wigging out on Noma. I believe this is the moment where either she finds out that Noma is a drug dealer. She definitely finds out that she tried to kill the Tejadas, and she's gonna be like, why? But this also could be the moment where she forces Noma to tell her the truth about Francesco Lombardi, which is that she killed him in cold blood, off them, pushed his wig back further than Tyra Banks' hairline. This is what it's all coming down to. And all Tariq would have to say is that, okay, yeah, I lied. I'm a drug dealer. But here's the thing. She might already have suspected he was a drug dealer and did not care. So then Tariq could easily play the victim role and say, hey, listen, I was doing my own thing. Noma came in here since last season. She been forcing me to work for her. We went to Italy. She killed your father right in front of me. I didn't even know you existed. Your mother's a bad, 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 bad man, right? Right? He could do that. For whatever reason, we see Tariq and Anya in the previews for the last episode running out of some kind of shed, bunker, whatever the hell. But it seems like they are together. Now, I have some thoughts on what would happen to Anya going into the end of the episode, but I'm going to save that for later, right? But next, on how can Tariq beat Carter and Noma without Ghost's help, right? And that's if we assuming that Ghost is never going to pop up, okay? Gotta form an alliance with the remaining Tejadas. We need a real alliance. They gotta have a real word and say, yo, listen, our lives are on the line. Drew gotta be on some time and like, okay, I'm done with this. I wanna go to Paris now, right? I wanna go to Paris, the country of love. Okay, Carter arranged for my mom to be killed. And even though my mother didn't die where he intended for her to die, she died and Carter played a role. I cannot work with Carter, okay? Now, I have some discrepancies on whether Drew will make it out or not. And he will live or die, right? And make it to the possible spinoff, depending on whether he still decides to rock with Carter after Monet's death. Kane just saw his mother die right in front of him. If Drew decides to still rock with Carter and go against the grain, Kane is going to kill Drew. But the way this show been going, I kind of feel like the three Tejada kids might actually make it out by the end of the season. But like I said, they have to form a real, true alliance and say, okay, yeah, it's really us against them. It's really us against them. We gotta figure this out, right? And the last thing, for how can Tariq beat Carter and Noma without Ghost's help? They gotta find a way for Braden and Effie to be useful, okay? They designated Effie as the certified computer whiz, computer hack. We still don't know how she developed these skills. There's a lot of unanswered questions when it comes to Effie. And we're probably not going to get the answer. I'm about 75 to 85% believing that Effie will be in whatever spinoff. And then we'll finally get to the bottom of it, right? Effie's story is not over, but they have to find a way for Braden and Effie to be useful. And Braden has to be sober. Now, Braden just saved Tariq's life again. Or at least kept them from going to jail at the end of the last episode, even though it was reckless. He had to do what he had to do in a moment's notice, in the blink of an eye. It worked so far, even though they still in a heap of shit. But Braden has to be sober. But other than that, y'all let me know how y'all feel or what Tariq can do in order to beat Carter and Noma without Ghost's help. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Peace.
Can't teach that shit, nigga. Come on. That's God gifted. That's touched by an angel. That's on the dome, nigga.